Hey, what's up guys and welcome back to Anime King, and today I'm going to be giving you part 2 of what if Naruto was the Otsutsuki King. And the like goal for this one for part 3 is going to be 300 likes, so get this one past 300 likes and you'll be getting part 3 as soon as possible guys. And also stay in tune because I'm going to be posting a brand new episode of what if Naruto's a badass genius. So stay in tune for that and I hope you guys do enjoy. And also, over on Anime King 2, I'm going to be posting what if Naruto was banished and got a supernatural ability. And I'm also going to be posting what if Naruto is a smart prodigy. So stay in tune for that and I hope you guys do enjoy. And remember, if you're new and this is the first time hearing my voice and you enjoy the videos on both Anime King and Anime King 2, go ahead and click that red subscribe button and become a part of the Anime King family. And thank you for all of your help and your support, and yeah, remember to comment down below and tell me if you're new. I'll be replying and talking back to all of you. So without further ado, what do you say we begin this new episode? Start the intro.
I think the girls with their nails done now. Girls with their nails done. I think the girls with their
So, to do a bit of a recap from the last part we left off, a woman named Kamora saw something fell from the sky as she went over there, as it was Kaguya. As the woman brought Kaguya back to her house, as Kaguya was holding on to a strange object, the woman then noticed inside was a baby. As inside the baby seemed to be frozen, Kaguya then woke up. As she took the baby, she went outside as she looked up in the sky, as she said, "You won't get him." As she then went and made a rather large indent into the ground as she pumped her power into it, making it circular in shape as she went down there, as the woman followed behind her as Kaguya placed her child down there. A small tear slipped from her eye, but she knew she couldn't allow his power to roam free right now. It is too great. If it was to explode right now, they would be fine instantly. So she sealed him inside there and came out. The years then passed as the same events happened, like normal in canon, where Kaguya was sealed away by her two sons, but unknown to them there was another son, as he was shut in there for years, until we came to the ninja lands where Kushina was cleaning the basement one night, as she found a strange symbol on the ground, and stepping on it, she felt her chakra along with Krama's chakra was sucked out of her, as the chakra went down to the baby boy inside of the spear. Because of Kushina's chakra, he took characteristics from her, such as his red hair, as it was white when he was in the spear but the chakra turned it red, and also his eyes got a mix of Kushina and Krama's own, giving him golden eyes, as he then burst from it a huge light engulfing the village, as Minato appeared there and saw the baby. They brought the baby to Tsunade to check him over, but the baby was fine, but the strange thing was, for a baby's chakra was already high tuning level and it was growing slowly. As Kushina decided to take the baby in, seeing that they didn't know what is going on and for right now they need to keep him safe. So she took the baby in along with Minato. Sometime after that she got pregnant. As Naruto was just a few months old, that is what she decided to name him. The events happened when the masked man came to release the Nine Tails, and the half of the Nine Tails was sealed inside of Mito. That was her baby daughter name that she had. As Sarutobi went and got Naruto because Minato already passed on after using the dead demon seal, as she told Sarutobi to take care of Naruto and Mito, as she told both of them that she loved them, and she died. Years passed after that, as Naruto has grown, with him being 6-year-old and his sister being 6-year-old as well, as Mikoto saw the both of them. She was great friends with Kushina, so she usually invited them over to her house to eat dinner with them, as Naruto got to know Sasuke and Itachi, as Itachi taught him a few things, making Sasuke a bit jealous. As Naruto told Sarutobi that he can pull some strings and get him and Mito in the same class, seeing that she's younger than him and she'll probably have to wait another year. But Naruto told him if he don't, perhaps his books would be leaked. All of those perverted books that he read in secret, as Sarutobi was shocked that Naruto knew about those, and he was using them to blackmail him. So yeah guys, that was basically the last part we left off. You guys can switch across the place and check it out for yourself. So what do you say we begin this new episode? We begin this episode with Mito and Ino, as the both of them just started the academy and they became friends. Good friends, as the both of them are currently playing in the park. So, what should we do next? Asked Mito. As Ino then looked over, as she saw this pink-haired girl, and some boys were picking on her, as they were poking her forehead and she was crying. As Mito looked over there, we should stop them, she said. As the both of them walked over, as one of the boys were taunting the girl. You have a rather large forehead, he said. I wonder. Hey, leave her alone, said Ino, as she came to the pink-haired girl's defense. Yeah, said Mito, just go away. As the two boys turned, and who the hell are you? He then focused on Mito. I know you. My mom told me to stay away from you. As hearing that, Mito looked down. The parents always tell their child to stay away from her. But Ino wasn't that, as Ino became her friend and her parents didn't say anything to her about that. And she was happy for that. As one of the boys stepped forward, stupid girls, don't butt into things, as he pushed Mito and Ino. Ino then looked at Mito. Tell him not to hurt them. I know. Please, they don't know what they're doing. Just don't hurt them, Mito said. The boys looked down confused, as they didn't understand. They're just idiots who don't understand what they're doing. The boy clenched his fist. Who you're calling an idiot, he said as he brought his fist up. He then brought it down, but before it could make contact, something grabbed his wrist. As the boy slowly turned, already shaking, as Naruto was standing there. In one hand he had a book, as he wasn't even looking at the boy. I suggest you apologize, Naruto said. As the other boy behind him raised a fist. Hey, let go of him, he said as he tried to punch Naruto. But Naruto slammed the first one into him, as he made the both of them tumble down to the ground. He then walked over. Naruto, Mito said. It's alright. They're just stupid idiots. Don't hurt them. As Naruto looked at Mito, you alright, he asked. And she smiled. I'm fine. You know you can ask me if I'm alright as well, Ino said. As Naruto looked over at her, he didn't say anything. He just walked away. Always with that same attitude, Ino said. It's like he doesn't care about anyone except for you. Trust me, Ino. He sees you as a friend as well. Well, for being friend with me. And if it was you and alone out here, he wouldn't let those bullies touch you either way. As the both of them turned back to the girl. Thank you, she said. Hey, I'm Mito, what's your name? It's Sakura. Sakura Haruno. Time skip, later that day. Alright, Naruto, I'm almost done, Sarutobi said, as he was finishing some paperwork. Naruto was standing at the window looking over the village. How has your time at the academy been treating you? He asked. This is just my first year, Naruto said, and it's rather boring. What do you mean by that? You know that I'm different from other kids, Naruto said. What they have to teach me, I'm beyond any of that. But you don't want to be moved up, right? Sarutobi said. No, Mito is there and I don't want to leave her, Naruto said. Naruto then changed the subject rather quickly. What's going on with the Uchihas? Sarutobi narrowed his eyes at the back of Naruto. What do you mean by that? I mean, they're starting to get some looks from the villagers, and it's almost like they're being isolated to a corner of the village. So, what's going on? I don't know what you're talking about, Sarutobi said. Don't play fool with me, old man. You know I observe things. So, what's going on with them? Because you know it would be rather dumb for the village to turn against people with Sharingan. Seeing that the Sharingan users are very strong, why would you guys turn against them? As Sarutobi sighed, it's complicated, he said. I know that, Naruto said. I've seen that. But I want to know why. Why are you so interested in that? Sarutobi asked. Because Mikoto take care of Mito and I when we were younger. And I came to befriend Sasuke and his older brother Itachi. And if the Uchihas are pushed so far, I believe they will break. What do you mean break? Sarutobi said. Well, a chain can be pushed until it finally snaps. The chains being the Uchiha in this scenario. It seems like they're having less and less power in the village. Even the villagers are looking at the police. And they're the police force. They're looking at them with anger. And I don't know why. And I would hate for the Uchihas to do something. Because if it comes up to it. Naruto then went quiet. As Sarutobi waited for him to say anything, but he didn't. If it comes up to it, what would you do? I won't let anyone touch Mikoto's family, Naruto said. As he just stood there. As Sarutobi didn't say anything, He was just keeping a calculated eye on Naruto. Don't worry, everything will be solved soon. And everything will get back to normal, Sarutobi said, as he then got up. Come on, enough of the gloomy talking. Let's go get lunch, he said, as both him and Naruto left the office to visit Naruto's favorite place, the Ichiraku Ramen shack. Time skip a week later. Naruto was lying down in his bed. Mito was fast asleep, until Naruto's eyes snapped open. He didn't know why, but he had a strange feeling. Something bad was happening. He rubbed his eyes and he got out of bed. As he went towards the window, something strange was happening. He then went back down and sat back on his bed, and he couldn't get back to sleep. So he decided to take a stroll around the village. This was the perfect time for him. He usually take night strolls, because no one would be there. He just went around clearing his head, and that is exactly what he did. As Naruto put on his clothes and went out, locking the door, leaving Mito behind, as she was fast asleep after he checked on her. Arriving out there, Naruto was walking in the street, as he just walked around the village aimlessly, not really going anywhere, until he came across the Uchiha compound. And that was strange. He didn't hear anything. Yes, it was night, but he didn't hear anything at all. He didn't even hear the sound of crickets or anything. Any animals, any insects. As Naruto arrived at the main gates, when he raised his hands up, he realized there was a barrier there. A silencing barrier. Nothing to get in his way though. As he stepped inside, Naruto came to a stop when he saw the first body on the ground. He quickly walked over there. As he placed his hand down, the person was dead. As Naruto then he smelled blood everywhere. As he wondered what is going on, he then heard a scream to his left. As he then saw someone walk out of the police force headquarters. It was a man. He had on a mask with one eye hole. As Naruto turned towards him, as the both of them didn't say a word to each other. A few seconds passed as Naruto spoke. Did you do this? He asked. The masked man looked at him carefully. Yes, it seems that way, he said. Why? Naruto said to him. Why do I have to tell a kid like you anything? The masked man said. And seeing that you've now seen me, I will have to kill you. As Naruto just stared back at the man. Quite a brave kid, not even showing any fear to a man that just slaughtered the Uchiha police force. Did you touch your families? Naruto said. There is no more need to talk, wasting my time talking to a trivial kid like you. The masked man then took off at tremendous speed, coming towards Naruto, as he extended his arm forward to grab Naruto by the neck. But to his surprise, Naruto simply took in a breath and released a massive fire. As the masked man was caught off guard by that, he faced through it though, but he was caught off guard that the kid was able to produce fire like that without even weaving hand signs. Naruto then leaped backwards as the masked man walked through the flames like nothing. I'm surprised. Able to perform a high intense fire like that without even going through hand signs. It seems you're quite special, kid, for your age. You seem no older than 7. How old are you? I could use you for my plan. Suddenly, someone flashed beside the masked man. As Naruto watched Itachi, with his katana in his hand soaked in blood. Itachi didn't face Naruto. He just muttered a few words to the masked man. As the masked man then looked back over at Naruto and sank down into the ground. As Naruto stood there, not saying a word to Itachi, Itachi then turned to Naruto with a cold expression on his face. Itachi, were you allied with that man? Naruto asked. As Itachi just looked at Naruto. What are you doing here? He asked. I sensed something strange was going on. It seems I was right. Care to explain what is going on? As Itachi still had that cold expression on his face. The Itachi you knew was just a facade, Naruto. I have taught you many things about mass, and I've been using one for a very long time. And now I slaughtered the entire Uchiha clan. Just to test my abilities, Itachi said. If he was waiting for an outward reaction from Naruto, he got none, as Naruto stood there as he was unfazed, unmoved. As Itachi didn't know what Naruto was thinking at that moment. Seeing Naruto looking at him that way, with that cold expression, it just broke piece of him, because he was a close friend to Naruto, and Naruto was to him. Because Naruto was different from Sasuke. He was very smart for his age. Yes, Sasuke was smart, but Naruto was on a different level. He think through things, and he react in different ways that people couldn't even imagine. Seeing something like this, he wasn't even reacting well. You killed the Uchiha clan, Naruto finally spoke. What about Mikoto, your father, and Sasuke, Naruto asked. My foolish little brother is still alive, but for the rest of them, they're dead. Naruto then started to walk off, surprising Itachi. As Naruto then stopped, he then turned back and glanced at Itachi. I don't know why you did this, but if you're not being controlled or something, if I find out you did this on your own free will, for why you did it, because right now I don't believe you. You talk about mass, but Itachi, clearly, this is tearing you apart. I can feel your emotions from here. As Itachi narrowed his eyes at Naruto. Feel my emotion, Itachi said. It's something I picked up recently. I don't understand it, but I can feel. You're lying. Even though you tried to hide that facade behind that cold expressionless mask. I don't know why you did this. But killing your own mother, your father, kids, that is unforgivable. And you're going to make Mito sad when she finds out that Mikoto is dead. And not to mention the amount of hatred Sasuke's gonna harbor in his heart. As Itachi started to break even more, hearing Naruto's words. And when Sasuke is ready, we will come for you, Naruto said. My main goal is to make you pay for what you did to Mikoto. She was nice to me, and also was you. And also you murdered Sasuke's mother, and his friends. He's never gonna forgive you for that. Naruto then started to walk again. So Itachi, count your days, because soon enough, you will die, he said. As he walked off, leaving Itachi there. As Itachi just watched Naruto walk off, as tears started to slip from his eyes. As he can realize the big effect this will have on his little brother. But he already made his goal. He already did this. So it was just time to wait until his brother come to take his life for the miserable atrocity that he did. When Naruto arrived, Naruto went straight to the house as he saw both Mikoto and Fukaku on the ground dead. Naruto usually kept his emotion in check, but he started to remember when he was much younger and he first met this woman. He didn't trust her at first, but she took him and Mito to her house. And she cared for the both of them, almost like a mother will do a child. Even though he has never felt that feeling before, it was from her. And now to see her lying dead there, he felt anger. The walls around him then started to crack as multiple sealing arrays on his body started to light up. Seeing that, Naruto calmed himself as he just walked out of the house. He then went and found Sasuke lying down in the street as he was unconscious but fine. He picked up Sasuke and threw him over his shoulder as he brought Sasuke back to his house. As he placed Sasuke on the couch as he head out again. Arriving at the Sarutobi compound, Naruto went straight to the old man's house as he knocked on the door, waiting for an answer. As he then saw the lights flick on, as Naruto was greeted by Emiko, Konohamaru's mother. As she looked at Naruto as she rubbed her eyes. Naruto, what are you doing here? She then noticed blood on him, seeing that he lifted up Sasuke. And Sasuke had checked his mother and father and some of the other Uchihas. Blood got on him. Emiko looked at Naruto. What is going on? She asked. Where's the old man? Naruto, you hurt, she said as she checked him over to see if he was alright. I'm fine, Naruto said. What happened? Call the old man, Naruto said. Wake him up. This is urgent. As Emiko saw the seriousness on Naruto's face, as she went inside, as she went to call her father. It took about 5 minutes, but Sarutobi came out. As he looked at Naruto, the confused look on his face. Naruto, what happened? He said. The Uchihas, they're dead. Sarutobi looked at Naruto with narrow eyes. As Naruto started to walk away. Naruto, wait! What are you talking about? I have Sasuke. I'll make him rest for the night, Naruto said. It's best if you go and check the Uchiha clan yourself. As he then started to walk off. As Sarutobi just stood there with a shocked Emiko as she couldn't believe what she was hearing. But Naruto couldn't be behind this. But the way he said it, like he was the one that killed them. But no, she didn't believe that. Naruto was not an evil person. But why did he phrase it that way? The next morning, news quickly spread about the Uchiha clan demise, and about Itachi Uchiha, who became a wanted criminal for slaughtering his entire clan in one night. Preparations were quickly made. Sasuke was shocked when he woke up at Naruto's house, as he did not understand what he was doing here. But then memories then came flooding back to him. As we currently have, it was now in the evening. As Mito was beside Sasuke, Sasuke was trying his best to hold in his tears as he was at the Uchiha clan funeral. Naruto was a distance away, as he was sitting in a tree. As he was watching Sasuke and Mito, as he could see in Sasuke's eyes something has changed. It was no longer the kind little boy who always pouted at his little brother. Hatred and darkness was slipping into his heart. But Naruto would be there for him, because Mikoto would have wanted that. Time skip. Years later. Shadow Clone Jutsu, said Mito, as 3 Shadow Clones were created. As the 3 of them dashed forward, the 3 of them sent a right hook towards Sasuke's face, as Sasuke ducked under their punches. He then flipped back while going through hand sign, fire style fireball jutsu, as he incinerated the clones. The real Mito appeared behind him, as she brought down an ox kick on his shoulder. Sasuke brought up his hands, but the force behind the kick sent him flying down to the ground. He flipped and landed gently though. He then pulled 3 kunais and 3 shurikens, as Mito did the same as the both of them released them as they clashed against each other. The both of them rushed forward and started to engage each other in taijutsu battle, until the both of them break apart. Panting a bit, the both of them sit down. It has been a couple of years since the Uchiha massacre, as Sasuke was now 12, Mito just turned 12, and Naruto was going on to 13 soon enough. But the group was still in the academy. In 2 days they will take the academy test, and they will become Genins. Ever since the Uchiha massacre, Naruto has not left Sasuke to walk down the dark path. He's been there for Sasuke, just to watch over and supervise him. And Sasuke also wanted to get strong, so Naruto provided that by showing him a few things here and there. And Mito has also been there for Sasuke as well. She was sad and depressed when she heard that Mikoto died, as she couldn't believe that Itachi, the kind-hearted Itachi, would do something like that. But she came to her senses after Sasuke told her with tears in his eyes that it was Itachi. Naruto hasn't told anyone about his encounter with Itachi or that strange masked man. He just told them that he woke up that night, feeling uneasy, and decided to go to the Uchiha compound, and found Sasuke unconscious there. As Sasuke by that story, well, Naruto was good to him. He was almost like his best friend, even though Naruto would never admit it. Naruto hopped down from the tree, seeing the both of them done sparring, as he threw 2 water bottles, giving the both of them. The both of them took it and downed the water, as they were exhausted. The both of them have come a long way, being the 2 strongest in the academy, far outclassing everyone else. But for Naruto that was not the case, because Naruto didn't really participate in most things. If it was a spar, he would tell them that he gives up and let the other win, seeing that these were just kids and he didn't want to hurt any of them. Sasuke has become rather cold over the time still. The only person he's really nice to is Mito and Naruto. For others, he's become hated to them. Everyone he seemed to really shrug off or pay them no attention. But Mito was still the same when it comes to kind-hearted. She was too kind-hearted to say, and she trusts people rather easily. Well, people she know. And she don't want to see the worst in people. She want to try and find a way to bring out the good in you. So that is why she's too kind-hearted. So big brother, Mito said, how do you think we did? Do you think we're gonna pass the exam? Do you even have to ask? Sasuke said. The both of us are already Genin level, or perhaps even beyond that. I won't hear what he thinks, Mito said. So, what do you think? Are we gonna pass the exam? As Naruto just looked at both of them. Sure, he said. The exam test is rather easy. I heard from the old man. It's just clone jutsu, shuriken throwing, and also transformation jutsu. Now get some rest, he said as he started to walk off. Hey, where are you going? Sasuke asked. As Mito chuckled. Oh, he's got a date with the old man, he said. his precious lunch date. But Naruto didn't pay her any mind as she was teasing him, as he just walked off. Later that day, Naruto and Sarutobi were at Ichiraku Ramen as both of them were eating ramen. As it's rather strange, Sarutobi looked at Naruto. It's been a couple of years but Naruto has never asked him once why the Uchiha massacre. He has never asked him for any intel or if he knew anything about it. Naruto didn't even bring up the subject after that night. After he told him what he saw and brought Sasuke to his apartment, he never talked about it again. But Sarutobi was happy for that because Naruto has a strange ability. He doesn't understand how it works. And Naruto told him that he didn't understand how it worked either. But he didn't know Naruto was lying. Naruto can tell if you were lying to him, no matter how skilled you are at lying. He can just look at your face and tell that you're lying. As Sarutobi tested out with him, and it was true. When he lied to him and telling the truth, Naruto could tell the difference. As it was rather strange. It wasn't a sensory type ability or anything like that, it was far more advanced. Well, Naruto was special. Naruto didn't stop eating, as Amy walked up to him from behind, as she went to get some things for her father's shop. She smiled seeing Naruto there, as she placed a hand on his head and started ruffling his hair. She was only a few in Konoha that could do this to him. She and her old man was alright in Naruto's book, as he turned to her and gave her a small smile, as that made her smile back. "How have you been doing?" she said. "I'm fine," Naruto said. "How about you?" "Oh, I just went to get some things for the shop," she said. "Oh, and I'm also creating a new dish." "New dish?" Naruto said. "Yes, a new ramen. I wonder if you're gonna enjoy it." "Anything you make will be quite enjoyable," Naruto said, as she smiled hearing that. "I know you always love my ramen. So I'm gonna make you a new dish, free of charge, just for you to test it out," she said. As Naruto nodded, as she then quickly hurried to the kitchen. As Sarutobi smiled seeing the interaction. "Quite popular with the ladies, huh?" said Sarutobi. As Naruto turned towards the old man. "You know I've been training Sasuke and Mito, right?" he said. "Yes," Sarutobi said. "Well, there's gonna be a 3-man team." "Alright," Sarutobi cut him off. "I know where you're going with this. You want me to place the both of you on a 3-man team?" "Yes, that would be quite well," Naruto said. "Well, I was going to do that anyway. You have quite taken over responsibility for Sasuke. Like even a parent, it's strange. But he seemed to enjoy your company. So, I won't be saying anything about that. And Mito rather loves her big brother, so that is good as well. And the both of them has gotten stronger. You already know that the both of them are beyond Genin level, right? Probably even low tuning to the way you're training them." "Well, it's been a couple of years," Naruto said. "And I have been taking things lightly. If I had really pushed them, they'd have probably been stronger. They're just kids, Naruto." "Well, you're a kid as well." "But I'm different," Naruto said. "Yeah," said Sarutobi. "How are the seals coming along?" he asked. "Quite well," Naruto said. As Sarutobi knew that Naruto had a knack for seals, he let Naruto study the seals in the library, and Naruto's eyes seemed to analyze all of them. And right now Naruto has tremendous. Sarutobi couldn't even tell how many seals the boy have over his body, because he could no longer feel Naruto's chakra pressure, as Naruto has sealed away his chakra growth. Sarutobi knew that it has been growing over the past years, but he doesn't know how strong it is now, because Naruto has sealed away. Not to make him seem different from the others, but Sarutobi could tell that if Naruto released all of that, it is going to be quite tremendous. But he's happy for now that Naruto was able to keep it under control. For a kid his age, being up to a 6 to 7 Seal Master level, that was incredibly impressive. Perhaps in a few more years he'll be a Sealing Master. Well, hell, in a few more years he's gonna be something that this world has never seen before. Seeing that he already have 5 chakra natures, as that made Sarutobi happy because he could teach Naruto a lot when it comes to chakra nature. And everything he teach the redhead, he just seemed to breeze past like it's nothing. Yes, one day, he's gonna become something that this world has never seen. Time skip, 2 days later. "Alright, everyone settle down," Aruka said as he entered the class. As he saw Naruto looking through the window. "Naruto, pay attention," he said, as Naruto turned his focus to Aruka. As Naruto had an unimpressive look on his face. It was like he wasn't even here, he was spaced out. Aruka always took notice of Naruto. He never seemed to try. He's even worse than Shikamaru. When he went to the Hokage and talked to him about that, the Hokage told him something that shocked him. was that Naruto was bored with the class. And Naruto was stronger, but the reason he didn't want to leave was because of his sister Mito. That is the only reason. Because Naruto was already past the Genin level, Iruka could tell. But he never showed off in class. As Sasuke and Mito has been the strongest, Naruto has never shown off before. Today is the exam to become Genins. And after this day, you will move on. You are even going to be leaving the village with your senseis to do dangerous missions. So you have to make sure that you're safe out there. We have to make sure that you're ready to truly become Genins. I'll be calling you one by one, and you will be taking the test, Iruka said. I wish you all luck, he said, that big smile on his face. As Mizuki then appeared, Mizuki will be assisting me in this test. As the both of them went around, their names started to be called. As a few of the kids walked out disappointed, and a few of them walked out happy, as they had their headbands. As Mito Uzumaki was then called, wish me luck, she said to both Sasuke and Naruto. As the both of them just gave her a nod, as she went around there. So let me guess, Sasuke said, you spoke to the old man. Naruto looked at Sasuke, what do you mean? Well, I know you'd have wanted to continue training us, so you probably spoke to the old man for him to put the three of us in a team, right? As Naruto did not say anything, as Sasuke simply smirked, yeah. I know what you are thinking. Know what I am thinking, huh? Said Naruto. And what am I thinking? Well, you want the three of us to be on a three-man team so you can continue to train us. And despite who our sensei is, I believe you will train us more than whoever it is. But I'm still curious, Sasuke said. About what, Naruto asked. About how strong you really are. I know you're special up to this point. I will not deny it, you're stronger than me. But you never show me exactly how strong you are. That is not important, Naruto said. Of course they said, Sasuke. I want to know how far I am behind you. Well, you're not, Naruto said. As he then turned his head, stopped talking to Sasuke. As Sasuke grunted, Naruto is always like this when it comes up to his strength. He's hiding something, but he just couldn't tell how much of his strength he's hiding. But for now he will be calm. Soon enough they will fight, and he will really see how strong he is. When they do an all-out brawl, but right now, he's no match for Naruto. He needs to get stronger. Mito then came back, as she walked up to the both of them with a sad look on her face. As Sasuke narrowed his eyes, as he found that rather strange for Mito to not pass, but she then smirked, as she pulled the headband from behind her. Thought I failed, didn't you, she said, as Sasuke narrowed his eyes at her. As Naruto wasn't paying attention, he was looking outside. Hey big brother, I passed, she said. I know, Naruto said. I already tell you that you would. Yeah, but I really passed. And I'm a Genin, and soon enough I'm gonna be on a team, and I'm gonna get missions outside of the village, and then I'm gonna be able to prove myself to become Hokage, and no one will ever look down upon me again. Huh, keep dreaming, a voice said, as Kiba appeared behind Mito. I'm gonna be the one to become Hokage. Really, Kiba? Mito said. Of course, he said, as Akamaru barked on top of his head. Just because you're a Genin now, that doesn't mean you're gonna beat me to become Hokage, said Mito as she glared at Kiba, as Kiba simply glared back. Hey Naruto, Ino said, as she was showing off her headband. It would be quite ironic if you didn't get one of these, if I end up passing being better than you, she said, as she chuckled. But Naruto didn't say anything. Hey, acknowledge me, she said, as he turned towards her. Congratulations, he said. That's more like it, she said, that smile on her face. Naruto Uzumaki, Naruto's name was called. Don't fail, Ino said. Do you really believe that my big brother would fail? Nah, Ino said. I'm just messing with him. As Naruto arrived around there, as he saw Mizuki, he was looking at him strangely, as Naruto could feel contempt coming from him, coming towards him. He didn't know why though. He didn't have anything against this man, and why did this man have anything against him? Or perhaps it wasn't against him. Naruto shook his head as Iruka spoke. Naruto, the first test is the clone jutsu. Naruto went through hand signs a clone poofed in existence. As Iruka smiled as he ticked the check on the board. As the clone poofed away. Now, the transformation jutsu, he said, as Naruto turned into a perfect replica of Iruka. Quite well done, Iruka said as he ticked another check. He then showed Naruto the 3 shurikens and 3 kunais. There's a target, he said, as Naruto picked them up and threw all of them. all of them embedded near to the circle, but it wasn't perfect. Well, Naruto, after an impressive show of skills, as Mizuki was the one to hand Naruto's headband. As Naruto took it, as he brushed back his hair and tied it around his head. Congratulations, Aruka said, as Naruto simply nodded and left. Coming out back, Ino rushed up to him. Well, you did pass, she said. What did you expect, he asked. Always acting all high and mighty, she said. What if you had failed? What would you have said then? If I had failed that test, then there would have been no hope of anyone else passing it, he said. As Ino narrowed her eyes at him. Wait, are you saying that none of us are stronger than you? She asked. Of course, he said, as he simply walked off. Sasuke went off next, after a few names were called, as he came back around his headband, as the other was Sakura Haruno, as she passed as well. Later that day, Naruto, me and the others are going to celebrate at the barbecue shack. Want to come? Said Mito. Sorry, I have things to do. See you at home, he said, as he just walked off. As Mito then waved him off. I'll see you, she said, as she went out with the others, as all of them enjoyed barbecue, she and the girls. After that, Mito was walking home when she came to a stop to see Mizuki, as he was just standing there. Ah, Mito, I've been waiting for you, he said. Mizuki-sama? What are you doing here? She asked. Oh, you see, I am here to give you the special part of the Genin exams. Special part? She said, confused. Oh, Mito, the exams were rather easy, wouldn't you say? Yeah, they were, she said. Well, there's another part to see if you're truly ready to become a Genin. This is kept secret. That's why I have already gave Sasuke and your big brother that point. And the both of them had passed. They passed? Yes, he said, with a smile on his face. Now it's up to you. And seeing that the three of you are rather close, I'm going to allow the three of you to be on one team. Whoa, that would be awesome, she said. Really? Can you do that? Yes, and I will even give you the best instructor if you pass this test. What's a test? She asked in a rather quick tone. Well, simple. It's an infiltration test. Infiltration? She said. Well, you are to go to the Hokage's basement and get the large scroll there. You would see it. It's the largest one. That's it, she said. Yes, but you aren't to get caught by any of the guards there. And this is a test, she said. Yes, this is what your brother and Sasuke did. Now you have to hurry. When you get the scroll, bring to the forest in the main clearing. And the Hokage, myself, and Aruka will be out there to congratulate you. And your brother and Sasuke as well. As Mito smiled. I'll be right back, she said as she ran off. Meanwhile, Naruto's walking in the street. As Mito should have been home by now, but she isn't. So he was looking for her. As Naruto then noticed envoys, as they were dashing from rooftop to rooftop at a tremendous speed, seemed like they were looking for someone. He was near the Hokage's tower, so he decided to check. As Naruto went up there, when he arrived, he saw Sarutobi dismiss an envoy who flashed away. Hey old man, what is happening? Naruto asked. Naruto, it seems like Mito has gone and taken the forbidden scroll of sealing. Naruto narrowed his eyes. What? Yes. Why would she do that? Naruto asked. I don't know, but I currently have envoys out searching for her. Who told you this? It was Mizuki. As Naruto's mind started to run back on things, the man was not hating on him. He was probably sending a wave of emotions towards Mito. Could he still be one of those who hate her because of what she carried inside of her? I'll find her, Naruto said. As he shut his eyes. What are you doing? Asked Sarutobi. Naruto didn't say anything. As a minute passed, he snapped back open his eyes. I found her, he said. What did you do? Sarutobi asked. I don't understand it much, but when I close my eyes and think about Mito or Sasuke's chakra, or even yours, I can find anywhere you are in the village. As Sarutobi was taken aback by that. You have a sensory ability on that level? You can find anywhere we are in the village? Yes, I don't know how far the exchange took, but currently she's now in the forest. I'll go get her, Naruto said. As Sarutobi was stunned to what he heard, did Naruto really have a sensory ability level to sense anyone in the village? Around the entire village? That was impossible, right? Well, Naruto was extremely rare, but to sense everything around the village, any one chakra he pinpoint, that was just crazy. Naruto finally made it to the forest. As he entered, as he was still tracking Mito's chakra signature. Meanwhile, Mito was crying, as she was holding onto the scroll rather tightly. As Iruka just told her that she has a 9-tailed fox inside of her, the demon fox that destroyed the village and killed countless of life. Beside her was Iruka, with a full shuriken stuck in his back as he was on the ground. "Now, brat, give me the scroll," Mizuki said, as he started to step forward. "No, you traitor! I won't give this to you." "Alright then, I guess I have to take it from your corpse," he said. "Mito, run," Iruka said as he picked up himself. "Iruka, keep quiet," said Mizuki. "She can't outrun me." As he pulled another Fuma Shuriken. "Alright, demon brat, let me put you out of your misery," he said as he raised it up, but then he stopped. It was because he felt like something held on to his soul. It was like he felt like his life was being ripped away, as he was shaking immensely, as he felt something walk by him rather silently. As he barely turned his head to see, it was the other brat, her brother, as Naruto simply walked past Mizuki. He didn't pay him any attention, as Mizuki felt like he couldn't move. This strange presence that was coming from the kid that was just hitting him head on. As Naruto walked up to Mito, "Are you okay?" he asked. As she looked up at Naruto still crying. Am I really the monster that destroyed the village?" As Naruto placed a hand on her shoulder. "You're not any monster, Mito. Come on, I'll take you home." As Naruto created 2 clones, as Mizuki tried to shake off the temp that was holding him down. "Where the hell do you think you're going? You think I'm gonna let you take that scroll and leave?" "Mito, give me the scroll," Naruto said. "Brother, Mizuki is a traitor, he wants it." "Don't worry, everything's gonna be fine," he said, giving her a reassuring smile. As Iruka was still on the ground, as Naruto removed the Fuma Shuriken from his back, as Iruka winced in pain. As a clone picked up Iruka, as another one held Mito bridal style, and they went out of there. Naruto didn't rest the scroll against a tree, as he wasn't talking. Mizuki then stepped forward. "Hey brat, just hand that over and I'll leave here." "Why?" Naruto said. "Why do you want this scroll?" As Mizuki was still holding on to the Fuma Shuriken. "Tell me why, and I'll give it to you. That's all I want to know." Well, it doesn't matter. It's for my Lord Orochimaru." "Orochimaru?" Naruto said. "Yes, once I hand him that scroll, I will become his second in command, even past Kabuto, and then I will get what I deserve. Power. Power that I can use to crush anyone." "So, you revealed my sister's secret and tried to hurt her because you wanted power? To become that pedophile snake pawn? Don't speak about Lord Orochimaru like that. You're nothing compared to him. He's far above anything that any of you in this village is." "So all this time you've been a traitor," Naruto said. "And you brought my sister into this. And you told her about the fox inside of her. Oh, you knew about that. What a bad brother not to tell her. I just didn't want her to feel pain, like what you just caused her. And for something like that, I can't forgive you," Naruto said. "Because you made my sister sad." Suddenly, Mizuki stepped back as the ground exploded under Naruto. From just sheer pressure, Mizuki then watched all strange seals on Naruto's body start to light up, as they were covering his entire arms, as he wondered how deep they run. Seeing that Naruto was wearing shorts, he could see them all over Naruto's feet as well, going down on his legs. What the hell are those? You see, over these years, I've been containing my power because it's too strong to run wild, and I won't want to accidentally hurt one of the kids in the academy. But you're nothing but a scum, a traitor, something I hate the most," Naruto said. As Mizuki thrust the Fuma Shuriken forward, but Naruto raised his hand. Suddenly, a black rod appeared out of nowhere and stabbed right in the middle of Fuma Shuriken, dropping it to the ground. What the hell is that? As Naruto didn't answer Mizuki's question, over the years in his training, Naruto realized he can create these strange black rods and use them as weapons, and they are quite strong. When it comes to a kunai or shuriken, they can clash against them and even deflect them. Mizuki went through hand sign, earth style, earth shaker, he said, as the entire earth started to shake where he was, but Naruto stood firm. As Mizuki narrowed his eyes, What the hell are you? You're no ordinary Genin. Trying to take me for a fool is one thing, but mess with my sister is another, Naruto said. As in the blink of an eye, Naruto vanished. Mizuki looked around but he couldn't see Naruto until he felt something hit him in the back with so much force. He smashed into the ground. All the wind was knocked out of him as Naruto's leg planted in his back. Mizuki gasped out in pain as Naruto arrived in front of him and slammed his feet into his face as Mizuki's body was sent sailing through a couple of trees. As Naruto started to walk towards him, because of the night light and Naruto's golden eyes shining, Mizuki felt fear as Naruto was slowly walking towards him. Mizuki slowly picked up himself, wincing in pain. Hurt style, mud wall, he said, as he created a giant mud wall as he started to run away. As he was coughing up blood as he was hopping from tree to tree. I have to get the hell out of here, he said. The moment he blinked, Naruto was beside him as Naruto grabbed onto his face, bringing Mizuki off the tree, smashing his face into the ground with so much force. The ground exploded, breaking Mizuki's nose and knocking out all of his teeth. As Naruto grabbed his face with one hand and lifted him up, as Mizuki started to cry, he literally wet himself as Naruto was looking directly in his eyes, as he felt fear that he's never felt before, as Naruto threw him back into a tree, as he hit it hard. He winced out in pain, as he couldn't pick up himself anymore. Please, spare me, he said, as his voice was muffled. He could barely talk, blood spurting from his mouth. I don't forgive anyone who harmed my sister, Naruto said. As he raised his hand, Mizuki then noticed Naruto's hand started to turn red, until fire. That was the last thing Mizuki saw. Meanwhile, with the Anvus, they were looking for Mizuki. All of them came to a stop as they saw a massive fireball that tear through half section of the forest. It just incinerated everything. As all of them looked on in shock, couldn't believe in what they were seeing. Who could produce this kind of power? Who was possibly capable of producing this power? As all of them rushed over there. When they arrived though, they saw the redhead kid standing there. That was Naruto Uzumaki, as he had the scroll in his hand. He then thrust it towards the Anbu leader as she caught it. As she had purple hair, she narrowed her eyes at him. What happened here, she said. I took care of the traitor, Naruto said, as he started to walk off. As she stopped him, come with me. You need to see the Hokage and explain what you did. I was going there anyway, Naruto said. As he walked by her, as he started to hop off, she turned back around. Cat, said one of her Anvu partners. Is this kid who really produces flames? This is impossible, right? As the man looked at the giant, gaping crater inside of the forest. As the man couldn't believe a kid could produce that flames. There is something really wrong here. As she just went with him towards the Hokage's tower to bring back the scroll. Arrived in the Hokage's tower, Naruto saw Mito as she was asleep. As Naruto explained what he heard from Mizuki. Orochimaru, huh? Said Sarutobi. I should have taken care of him back then. Probably you should have, Naruto said, as he picked up Mito and threw her over his shoulder. Naruto, Sarutobi said. How are the seals coming along? They're just fine, Naruto said, as he then started to walk away. See you soon, old man. As he exited the office, Sarutobi sat down, sweat on his brow, because he saw all of that play out on the crystal ball that he had. But the power that Naruto showed out there was something just unbelievable for a child. And the crazy thing about it is, the seals were still on Naruto. That meant that wasn't even near to his full power. As Sarutobi started to fret, because to see what Naruto did to someone who messed with his sister, he incinerated the man, didn't even leave bones behind. Later that night, Mito was sleeping, as Naruto was standing above her. He then raised his hand and placed on her forehead, as he closed his eyes. Meanwhile in the cage, Kurama was sitting there, as he growled and slowly opened his eyes. You must be quite arrogant, or quite stupid, to come here. As Naruto was standing in front of a large, nine-tailed beast, But guys, we'll be ending this episode right here. If you want to see the next part of this, you know what to do. Like, subscribe, comment down below, and turn that bell notification to stay posted. Remember, share to all of your friends and social media platform. But for now, I'm out. See you guys soon. Peace.